Please welcome Alicia Silverstone. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you.
So nice to have you here.
Thanks.
First time in Pittsburgh?
I think it is my first time in Pittsburgh. It's really pretty.
Thanks.
I didn't expect it to be so beautiful. It was all green driving here.
You caught us on a good day.
Yes, it's very pretty.
So before we get to questions, I'd like to ask, I hear you're slated to be in the next season of American Horror Story. Is there any...
I'm in American Horror Stories season finale.
Oh.
So they make American Horror Stories are each one is its own little movie.
Right.
So it's its own little movie.
Do you know when that's going to be out?
You can't hear me?
Now you can. There you go.
Sorry. It's in I think it's in September. Okay. It's the season finale, so if you're watching American Horror Stories, it's the last one.
So there you go. Don't miss it. Super. Would you mind getting some questions?
Of course not.
Okay, then let's do that. Who's got it right here, right down front?
Did you like George Clooney and Christopher Donald when you played Batman Woman?
Batman Woman? Bat Baby?
Bat Baby.
I like to think of myself as Bat Baby.
Yeah.
Yes, George Clooney was so dreamy and sweet to me. He was so nice. There were weird things going on, and he was always there to protect me. So I was very kind. I was very grateful for him, and he's just a really nice person. So it was fun.
We'll go over to that side of the room, over there, the far side.
Hi. What is your favorite movie you've ever been in, and why?
Hi. That's a really difficult question and a good one because I've loved a lot of movies that I've been in. I loved doing The Crush because it was my first movie ever. And I didn't think I was going to get the job. I was heartbroken that I wasn't going to get the job. For some reason, I really needed to be in The Crush. And then I did get it, and that was a dream. So that's probably the best one. But then there's been so many good experiences. So I don't even know how to go through them. But I love doing Broadway plays, too. So, I like a lot of different things. They were there at a Broadway play I was in.
What play was that?
That one was The Graduate, but the last play I did was, oh God, what was it called? Of Good Stock. And that was really great. And I did one with Laura Linney called Time Stands Still, and that one was really amazing. And one with David Mamet. A lot of great. It's wonderful doing theater.
Awesome. We have a question right down the middle.
Okay.
Hi, Alicia. I was wondering what your process was of transitioning from the darker roles of like the crush or the babysitter, and then just flip that into the more comedic role of Clueless.
Well, it's a funny thing in our business because sometimes people see you one way, and then before Clueless, all I did was serious movies. I did The Crush, I did The Babysitter, Hideaway, True Crime. What else? Le Nouveau Monde, a French film with James Gandolfini. And so I was just serious. And then all of a sudden, Clueless came along, and I didn't know that I could be funny. And the woman that I worked with said to me, if you just take everything as seriously as you do, it will be funny. And so that was helpful. But then I think I sort of was doing comedy for a while, because then that's all they think you know how to do then. They forget that you know how to do the other thing too. And then I did theater, and that allowed me to be seen differently as well. So now I've been doing serious, very dark, serious stuff over and over and over again. I can't remember the last thing senior year was funny. But I just did American Horror Story, and before that, I just flew from Toronto where I was shooting I guess it's a comedy, but I don't know. We'll see. But some really weird artistic things, and The Lodge, and what's that movie with Nicole Kidman and I can't remember. Sorry. Oh, something about a deer. Killing of a Sacred Deer. That filmmaker is so brilliant, Yorgos Lanthimos. And so I've been doing a lot of arty, weird, wonderful things.
Question right here, and I bet it's two-part.
All right. Hello, Alicia. Wonderful to have you with us today.
Thank you.
I just want to say before I get to my question, you were wonderful in all the movies that I saw you in, especially voicing Sharon in Braceface.
Oh, thank you.
And you were also great in the Batgirl costume you wore.
Batgirl what?
In Batman and Robin.
Oh,
the
thank
Batgirl
you.
costume you wore
Okay, thanks.
looked amazing in it.
Thank you.
Okay, so the two-part question for you is, what was it like working on the films Clueless, Excess Baggage, and Blast from the Past? And the second question is, what was your fondest memory of working with Brittany Murphy on Clueless and the memories and life lessons she left behind for you to treasure both in life and your role as a mom?
Big questions.
Yep.
I already forgot the first three movies. You said, Clueless, Excess Baggage, and Blast from the Past. Well, Clueless, I had been working back to back on 9 films, right? One after the other. I was so tired by the time I got to Clueless that I was just delirious. And for me, I was in every single scene. So while the boys would frolic in and out, you know, Paul Rudd and Breckin Meyer and Donald Faison, they would just sort of come and go. They were all having so much fun. And I was like super serious working girl. So my experience was that I was doing a job, and I loved playing that character. But I didn't have as much loosey-goosey fun as I did later in projects. But playing Cher was so much fun. I mean, she's a funny character. And then Excess Baggage was incredible, but so hard. I produced that movie, and I, had no idea what I was doing at all. And so that feels like another lifetime ago, and that was an incredible experience. And Benicio del Toro and I just did another film together I'm really excited. It was so amazing to work with him 27 years later. Every day was such a trip because it was like, can you imagine spending all that time with someone 27 years ago and then suddenly being right in front of them again? Very weird. But anyway, that's an exciting project that's coming out soon called The Reptile. And Blast from the Past was fine. There was a little girl who was the daughter of the director that I was in love with. She was 5, and I just wanted to eat her little face. And so I went on a hike with her recently. Her father passed, and she's a grown woman now. But she also remembers, I would just follow her around. She would follow me around, and that was my favorite part of making Blast from the Past. And the costume designer and I became dear friends, so that was lovely too. A talented man named Mark Bridges. He's so brilliant. Anyway, then what was the next question? Brittany. Brittany was attached to her mommy, so her mom was around all the time, and that's what I really remember is Brittany and her mom, and my mom was on set a lot too, and I don't have a ton to say about Brittany because it's so personal and intimate, so I'll just leave it at that. She was so, what I remember the most is how good she was. When she auditioned for the part, I just remember going, oh my God, this girl's amazing. You guys see this, right? And they said, yes, we see. But she was brilliant at Thai. So good. And
There's a question way off to the left side, right over here. Yes, right over here.
Hi.
Hey, I was just wondering, what was it like working with Jared Leto on The Cool and the Crazy? And also, I believe Ralph Bakshi, that was one of his only live-action productions he had done since he was an animation director. What was it like doing that movie?
That's amazing that you're bringing that up. Ralph Bakshi is a madman, and he's wonderful, talented man. And Jared Leto is an interesting character, and that was a time. That was a time. I was very young, and I'll get in trouble for anything I say, so I'm not going to say anything. Okay.
A safe question right down the middle.
Okay, great.
Hi, Alicia. Thank you for being here, number one.
Thank you.
Now, my question to you is, now that you've run the gamut from teen star to adult actress and run different categories of entertainment, which was your favorite medium or project and why?
Well, I think some of the most incredible experiences I've had have been on stage, to be honest. The feeling of theater is so incredible. And I remember doing a play with David Mamet called Boston Marriage. And it was with Mary Steenburgen and Rebecca Pidgeon. And I played their slave housekeeper, but they called me Slavey. I think that was my name, Slave. And which is not cool. But the direction, it was just I was a little Scottish maid is what I was. And I don't know, the experience every night, you felt so much like this is where I'm meant to be. I felt my heart would just be jumping up and down every night. And it was one of the most incredible acting experiences of my life, to be honest. And it's just a precious thing because probably no one here saw that. And it's just whoever was there, in that audience for that period of time. It's this very fleeting thing. But that was one of the most incredible experiences ever. And then I loved doing American Woman. That was really fun. And I was sad that went away. And, I loved working, like Anne Heche. My dear friend, she is an incredible actress. Just one of my favorite all-time acting experiences, just walk up opposite her, being, playing with her. And then her husband, or her boyfriend at the time, who was an American Woman with me, because she said, you should work with my boyfriend, James. And he was great. So I worked with him twice, and then I did Requin. I did Requin recently with him. And not a ton of people saw that film. Maybe nobody liked it, I don't know. But that filmmaker, Le Von Kit, is a brilliant Vietnamese filmmaker. And I was a big fan of his. So I just put my whole heart and soul into that one. But I feel like I've been working so much, I can't even keep track of all. I'm like trying to think of all the movies. But I've just been having fun. I really enjoy what I do. I feel really lucky. There was a time where I took a big, big break from it all. It all felt very difficult. And I, wanted to do my activism. I wrote The Kind Diet. I wrote The Kind Mama. I care very much about the earth and people's health and animals and all of that. So I got really distracted with that, and I didn't think I could do both. And now I have a really nice balance of both, and that feels really, really good. So I think all mediums, even my podcast, that's another medium. I love doing my podcast, talking to people like Kevin Smith about how he almost died, and how director Kevin Smith, and how he saved his life. And, Pinky Cole from The Slutty Vegan in Atlanta, Georgia. Really great conversations with all kinds of wonderful people. It's really great. So I feel very lucky. Thank you.
For people who don't know, what is your podcast and where can they find it?
My podcast is called The Real Heal. And we did one season so far, 10 episodes, and it's all about how will we really heal ourselves, asking the question, how do we heal our planet, our communities, ourselves? And talking to friends and doctors and all kinds of really interesting people about that question, about deep healing, because we all need it.
Thanks. Question in the middle.
Hi. So what do you think is the hardest role you've ever played?
The hardest role? It's a good question. The hardest role? I don't know. Where I was the most scared or challenged, maybe? Don't know. Can't remember right now. Sorry. That's a really good question, though. I don't know.
Let's head into the next one then.
They all feel really hard before you start. They feel unmanageable. Doing the David Mamet play. And then all the plays, just these monologues you have to learn. And when I read it, it seemed like a good idea. And then when I'm doing it, I'm like, this is never going to become part of me. I'm never going to get this. And then you do. Or when I went out to do The Graduate with Kathleen Turner, I remember she she walked into my dressing room right before we were starting, and she said, you know, in her deep, gorgeous voice, "Darling, are you ready for this?" And I started screaming, "No, I'm not ready!" Like, no. And then over the loudspeaker, they said 30 minutes, and then 15 minutes. I was hysterical. All I did was scream the whole way until we started. And then I was okay.
So following that, is there a different way that you look at scripts from theater and movies, the way you study them, or you kind of have a certain method on the way you look at material?
Do you mean to choose what to do kind of thing?
No.
To prepare.
Prepare.
No, I guess it's the same. I just know that with theater, the luxury you have is that whatever work I do beforehand, I'm showing up and I get a whole month to work on it. And when you're doing a film, you know, I was on vacation and I flew from Greece to Toronto to do a film, which I didn't know I was going to be doing. It just happened out of nowhere. And so I was jet lagged, upside down, crazy, and just needed to learn it in, 5 minutes kind of thing. I just turned around. And I can do that. That's fun too. You know, I knew that it was possible. It wasn't too complicated. Or American Horror Story. I was in the kitchen making tacos for my kid and making a video, and my agent called and said, "Oh, you need to be somewhere on Tuesday." I said, "No, I'm going to Yosemite. I'm already leaving." And that turned out that I couldn't go to Yosemite. I needed to do this show. And I thought it would be a small part, but it's the lead. I'm in every single scene, and there's massive dialogue. So, yeah, you just sort of, everything, you just take it as it comes. And that's the fun of our business. You never know I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Never know.
And we have a question coming up now. You never know what that is.
Hi, thanks for coming on out to the Steel City Con, of course.
Thank
and also for mentioning Anne Heche and everything, too. Obviously, big up to her and positive energy. Hey, quick question. You mentioned your 2 books, and specifically also the vegan one. What's a good, quick vegan thing that you think everybody should try? What's a good, something we can just take hold of or something along those lines?
Thanks for asking that. It's my favorite thing to talk about. I have a YouTube channel that you can go see me cooking all kinds of yummy dishes that are very easy. The go-to thing in our house that's really easy so that you're getting everything you need nutritionally are the great tacos, because who doesn't love a taco, first of all? They're so delicious. And you can make them so healthy and so good for you. So that's probably the best thing for a quick, easy thing to do. But on my YouTube channel or on The Kind Life, you can find all these different things that I make. And in both books, there's great recipes. There's this one's delicious, but it's a little fancier. But it's crostini with leek and artichoke and pesto and mushrooms, and it's so divine. If you're having a little party, that's really nice. Or you could do the cheesy, easy guacamole dip, which is really good for ball games, right? Or whatever games. What do you call them? Ball games? Yeah. Or ball games just for baseball. Maybe it's just for baseball. Nah. Was that a ball game? Okay, I don't know. I sound like a grandma. Sorry. But I think that reading The Kind Diet or following me on Instagram and seeing the stories of what we cook and make, and the amazing thing is you really can make your life better through food. That's if I share any secret of my life with anyone, it's the magic of what food does. From meal to meal, you can feel the difference. If I eat naughty, food that's not fueling me, not nourishing me, it's just delicious, but it's not, it's harming my organs and making me tired and sluggish. And then you could just change that in one meal. The next meal you have, if it's filled with lovely veggies and brown rice or quinoa, but done beautifully. I'm not talking about boring, gross food. I'm talking about delicious food. And, beans or tempeh or seitan. And then all of a sudden, you just feel so vibrant and awake. I used to take allergy shots twice a week and an asthma inhaler all the time, 3 times a day. And I had cystic acne all over my face, and my nails were really brittle. And once I went vegan, immediately, I just sat taller. My whole energy shifted. I felt like I could walk through the world knowing that I wasn't contributing to suffering. That felt really good to me, knowing I was on the a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. And just my health changed. I no longer needed an asthma inhaler. I no longer needed allergy shots. My allergist called and said, "Why have you not been here in a year?" And I said, "Well, I don't have any allergies anymore." And he said, "What did you do?" And I said, "I went vegan." And he said, "I've heard that works." And I said, it did. And I said, "But why didn't you tell me?" And he said, "Well, I wouldn't have a practice, would I?" And he was joking, but was he? So I just noticed that everything got better. I haven't needed any medicine since then, and except I did get in a dog fight, and I had to have a bunch of stitches in my legs. And then that I needed I think I had to take antibiotics for that. But other than that, I've never had to take anything, So I think it's a good idea to get your legs sewed up if it gets ripped apart.
Good.
I'm in favor of that. But food has been my medicine, is the point.
A real quick plug. What is your YouTube channel?
It's a good question. It's either my name or The Kind Life, because my books are The Kind Diet, and then there's a book, The Kind Mama, if you're thinking about getting pregnant or trying to get pregnant. And then, or you already are pregnant. It's helpful for all of those things. And then thekindlife.com is my website. My Kind Organics are my supplements that I make. So everything's under Kind. And I think that the YouTube channel is The Kind Life.
Okay.
Or my name.
And do you have any of your books at your table?
No, I should have brought them next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
Let's grab a few more questions. You're going to be headed back to your table for more autographs and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good. Let's get a few more questions in, and thanks for coming out and doing this.
Thank
Very
you for
nice.
having me. I love that there's so many people in here. It's so nice.
It is.
Hi, I was wondering if you would talk a little bit about doing the Aerosmith music videos.
Yeah, those were such a trip. And the director texted me yesterday, Marty Kollner. He's got to be 74. And he and I were buddies. After that, we would drive around and just get into trouble when I was really young. And he's just fun, man. Anyway, he saw me in The Crush. So he said, she needs to be in the Aerosmith videos. And then brought, I think, whoever the Aerosmith, I think it was John Kalodner. Does anybody know who that is? But this big guy from Innovative or Interscope or something, Interscope or something. But anyway, he came, saw the movie, and then they said, yes, she needs to be in the videos. And so they asked me to do that. And I didn't know what Aerosmith was or who that was or anything. Sorry. But I was just a kid, and I was 16. But I learned fast. They're incredible. And I loved doing them. It was just fun because Marty and I would just play and be silly. And they were all really weird and highly sexual, I get now. But at the time, I didn't know what was going on. I was just there having fun, and, it was okay.
Let's do 2 more questions off to this side of the room.
All right, I just want to start out with, I absolutely love Clueless. I've seen it more times than I can count. But one of the main things I like about Clueless is the fashion in it, and I was just curious what it was like working with the stylists in that movie, and if you could tell a little bit more about that.
I love that you watched it so many times. I feel like your sister forced you or something. Oh, no.
I came across it on my own.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, I was not into fashion at all. I had a green T-shirt and a pair of jeans that I wore to everything and everywhere. It's like my lucky green T-shirt. And so I didn't know anything about clothes or fashion. I had no interest in it at all. And here I am doing this thing, which I didn't even realize how important the clothes were. They're critical. But I had to go to fitting after fitting after fitting, and I was so exhausted with it. I would just stand there and whatever. And I did, now I could see that I might be really into it and think, this is so much fun. But at the time, I was so over it. So Mona May, this brilliant costume designer, who also worked really well with Amy Heckerling, the director. And, Amy would take a shirt off in the middle of the thing. If she didn't like what I was wearing, she'd go, try this shirt, and take her own shirt off, stand there in her bra, put it on me. She's so cute. So she's really was very influential in how they worked together very well, very collaborative. But on set, I remember I put on the outfits, And obviously they're incredible, these costumes. But I still had no idea what it all was going to be. And I sort of thought, what's this fuss about? What I didn't, like, who are these people? And including who am I? What is this? And then when I saw the movie, and I took my son to see it at Hollywood Cemetery. They had it's outdoor, 4,000 people watching the movie together on this huge screen. It was so incredible. And I brought Mona May as my date, the costume designer. And I just kept smacking her each time a costume came out because, all these years later, you can just feel that each costume makes such an entrance. So I think she did a really incredible job. And I did another movie called Vamps with Amy Heckerling and Mona. And again, the costumes are really incredible. It's just not as well, it hasn't been seen as much, that film. It's not quite Clueless, but it's got the flavor of it. And the costumes are really great.
We'll do 2 more questions, then she's going to be headed back to her table, which is actually in the room next to us. So let's get the 2 questions, one right here.
It's kind of a 2-part question. One, what was it like working with Jennifer Coolidge? Because I feel like she'd be hysterical to work with.
Did I work with her?
In Clueless?
Jennifer Coolidge is in Clueless?
The mom, right? No?
No, but I love Jennifer Coolidge, and I hang out with her and party with her.
Apologies.
She's fantastic.
And I guess the second
I
part
would love to work with her.
is the little snap flirtation move that you do. Who came up with that? And do you still remember how to do it?
Snap?
Yeah.
Wait, tell me what that is.
The little flirtation move where you flip your hair up.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
Is that what I did?
Yeah, it was like you kind of bent down and you did the whole little thing.
Oh my God, I don't know. I'm sorry.
2 strikes on a 2-part
I'm
question.
so sorry.
Off to the back. Let's make it good.
Hi. First of all, I want to say that we absolutely love Clueless. My daughter and I watch it all the time. And my question is, American Woman was incredible, and I'm so sorry it didn't get a new season because it was so good. You were so good. What was it like to work with Kyle Richards? She seems incredible.
Well, a funny story about Kyle Richards is, again, I didn't know I'd never seen that show. And so I got asked to go have a meeting, and I knew that in the meeting there was, in my mind, a guy named Kyle, a guy named Alex, and a guy named, I can't remember right now. And so when I got into the room, I was like, where's the other guy? Where's Kyle? And then I realized, oh, Kyle's a girl. And that was really fun to meet her. And she's a very strong, cool woman. And the most time I spent with her, I would say, was having dinner with her after we were done. We all had dinner. She and I had dinner with Ginny, a producer on it. So that was fun. But, it's based on her story, but it's very loose. The show creator really took liberties and made it's what it is. So my involvement with her was not so much, but she was lovely.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you.
So nice to have you. Let's give it up for Alicia Silverstone. You can do better than that. Please check out her YouTube channels, website, all that good stuff. Thank you so much. One more time, she's still in the room, Alicia Silverstone.
Hi, this is Aaron Ashmore, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe like now. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.